All right, hold on.
And then I'll count us in a little bit. So we kind of just let it run for a little bit, and we just kind of like talk, and then I'll count us in when it's time for us to start, basically.
Everything looks fine though on the show notes and all that other junk.
I don't know. Sure, we'll fly by the seat of our pants.
I added.
Did you send show notes to Thomas?
Yes.
I did get them. He did. Look at this. Adam was very nice and sent me show notes. And
I don't normally have a guest on, so that's why it's a.
And I just replaced them as like, how can Goatboy be this good looking? Oh, I didn't go 4-2. I went 5-1, dog.
I couldn't remember. I know it was a winning record.
And you couldn't remember, and you aired with the worst option.
Yeah.
Of the two. Jeez, man.
The worst thing is that if I would have remembered my rules on my guns being the range they are, I might have beat the Tau guy round 1.
Nice.
That's good.
Yeah, so that tells you how wonderful of a player I am. I even got new version of List to deal with the new Grey Knight threat, and it should be good.
You're just happy.
So you just dropped everything that has a demon keyword?
Except for the... he doubled down on it.
Double down.
No, you do 3 Lords of Skulls, and it's a plethora of cultists and just around it.
Okay.
And you're like, so Grey Knights, you come down, and I just kill you.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
It seems like a legit strategy.
Yeah, you're like, you can't smite me, and every unit will just explode to what I shoot at them.
Perfect.
Anything you want to add?
No,
Thomas,
those are fine. Those show notes work.
Yeah.
I added FAQs, but those are only the 2 FAQs, and they don't really do anything. So
no, they were pretty much irrelevant.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, most of those FAQs pretty much didn't do much at all, and really the only thing we can really wait on is some kind of Forge World book whenever that comes out.
They announced the new books, basically.
The new books, and then whatever new edition that we hear is coming. Have you heard as well?
That's what we heard.
We've heard rumors, yes. Many rumors. So
my favorite's still the smaller table. I've already gotten multiple messages.
Oh, so you got those rumors then too. You got the other fun ones that are supposedly no one's supposed to know about.
Yeah, all the rumors.
The fake rumors.
I have a lot of people messaging me about the tables. Most of them are TOs.
So the
4x4s, you mean?
No, the 3x5. I heard that, and I heard 3x5.
3x5, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
What's really funny is I think there's a batch of stuff went out, and they want to see if anything comes back to WS stuff that's a lie. Like, what's the other fun stuff you've heard?
Mainly it was the tables. What was the other thing? For me, it was the table. Especially everyone was the tables now because of FLG selling all their mats, their liquidation of mats.
That was the best part of the rumor.
And now that's why I got all those messages all of a sudden.
No, I mean GW made mats that are 4x6.
Right, and there's
their mats are weird, like 22.5 by 32 3/4 or something.
No, they had a couple 4x6, and the other things you forget is that all their hard plastic tables are 4x6.
Yeah, all the Realm of Battle.
Yeah, the Realm of Battle stuff.
And they sell those, and they gave some to us.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've been telling people that it's not. I have no confirmations.
Just tell everybody yes to everything and see them freak out.
Yeah. I think it's just going to be a tweak of there's probably going to be some either detachment tweaks, and then the rules are going to match what we have rules now, and then they might tweak something else out again.
Mm-hmm.
Or we joked, or the big joke was we said as July 1st, new Marine book.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
The Marine book says, "Fuck you, Iron Hands."
All right, I think we should get started. There's a bunch of people on now.
Okay, cool. Ready? 5, 4,
sure.
3, 2, 1. You're up.
You're supposed to be silent on the 3, 2, 1, John. We discussed this before.
Nobody cares. Just go.
They all care. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of TFG Radio. As you can hear, it's myself and with John on the Wheels of Steel, back from his fresh stint practicing on his bombing runs as a ball turret gunner. And which is
How many of those are you going to come up with?
There's an actual place up north that you can get in the ball turret and fire the guns.
Well, why have we never gone there?
Because it's like 65. It's like thousands of dollars to do it.
Oh, well, all right.
They train you to be like part of the crew, and then they take you on a B-17 bomber and do a fake bombing run.
Wait, so I get to actually fly in the bomber while shooting the ball turret?
Yes. Yes.
Why has it got to be the ball turret, the most dangerous of all turrets?
No, you can be a door gunner or whatever, but you train in whatever role you're going to play.
Yeah.
I actually looked it up because I saw it on a YouTube video where they were firing the ball turret guns.
Nice.
So, something to say, and it was like $6,500. I don't know if that was per person or for the whole whole crew. It was a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
Anyway, we're also joined by today, Goatboy. You may also know him as Thomas.
the one and only. You're lucky. I'm not going to do my normal singing voice as I usually do in anything else. Goatboy. Yeah. Speaking of fun stuff, if you want to shoot something, here in Texas, there's a couple places that let you drive a tank and shoot a tank with actual live ammunition, and then you could also get a flamethrower attached to your back and shoot actual flamethrowers. And then there's something else you can shoot as well.
Why does none of this surprise me about Texas?
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah,
I'm just pointing out. Yeah, yes, it shouldn't surprise you at all. I think a friend went and did the flamethrower. He said it was very fun.
The flamethrower would be fun. That sounds like a good time.
Yes. Yeah, that'd be lots of fun.
Yeah,
it is. Just cathartic. It's like it feels so good burning something.
I can imagine. Did they put targets out for that, I assume?
I have no idea. All I know is they said it was like someone's, I don't know if it's bachelor party or something, he wanted to do it. And the guy has a decent amount of money, so that's what he did.
I don't know if I'd want to do that for a bachelor party.
Well, you probably do that before drinking.
Yeah. I think
to start it off.
What's funny is like my bachelor party was at a tournament and 40K, and I basically was drunk the entire tournament.
I have to get better friends.
You did the nerd bachelor party?
Yeah.
It's my second marriage. I mean, there's
okay, that's different.
Else. So that's my second one. So
right.
You know, so
you get it right on your third one.
Yeah. Third, fourth, you know, whatever. Don't tell Katie that's so not.
Well, if your wife's anything like ours, they don't listen to these shows anyways.
Oh God, no! She's like so tired of you.
We say whatever we want on here.
Yeah.
Nobody knows.
No one knows.
So, a few things to talk about. It's been kind of slow, I think, these last couple of weeks.
Yeah, it hasn't been much happening at all.
No, just a few tournaments. Grey Knights going undefeated. That kind of
That's what it's like when doves cry, right? That's
everybody learning that Maelstrom missions is the way of the future.
I know. Once again, the European meta is 6 months ahead.
And then raging at me for days on end on 40K for like I think one of the most commented on posts of all time on the Facebook group.
Oh my God,
it just cracks me up because like all the ETC does it, and the way they have like a page that has it, but it's like you guys play 4-hour games, so
that's true. And I don't have any interest in playing a 4-hour game.
I don't have no.
I mean, we have the friendly that's 4 hours, but that's a friendly.
That's usually when you're yelling at each other and saying something terrible about them. That's 4 hours of fun.
Yeah, it depends on who you're playing.
I've made Nick Rose very mad at me many times, and those games don't last 4 hours. They're usually done in an hour, and he's really pissed.
Okay, but let's be real. Is it hard to get him to that point? Because it doesn't seem like it would be.
There's a thing called Thomas dice.
Yeah.
Where it's like I'm really somehow saves really go my way when I play against him. It's like, how many saves can you make? I'm like, well, don't ask me that question because it's gonna be more than you want. So there's the games because I've played him enough times and he plays the same way. If you play him enough times, he kind of plays the same way. So I don't think a whole lot when I play him. I just respond. I just react based on what I know how he normally plays.
Okay.
So it's like I'm just rolling dice and I don't care. And he's like just getting madder and madder at me.
Tony says that we need 2-hour games so we can do a 1-day GT. You can do the 2-hour games. You just need to do 1,000-point games. You can have a whole GT and 1,000 points in a day. Done.
I mean, the armies I play.
1,500.
The armies I play at 2,000 points are 2-hour games.
Right.
Just saying.
Yeah, but you can't expect that of everybody.
I'm amazing. That's what it is.
You are. You're pretty amazing.
I mean, heck, I had to play a 7 a.m. game at LVO, and I did mine in like hour and a half every game. Hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes.
Yeah, you had a lot of hurry up and wait then, huh?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Basically, I would walk around and do stuff and go talk to other people, save my voice.
Well, speaking, we were talking about ETC. Since you brought it up, I'm curious. I know John doesn't really care. That the 40K part of ETC split off and decided to do their own thing called WTC. I think they're calling it the Worlds for short. But and then ETC decided to still do the team tournament, a 40K team tournament, but they made it more based on ITC, which I think was funny. Because they broke off because they didn't kind of like how things were being handled, but then ETC decided to do some of the things that they wanted, that the WTC guys wanted to do in the first place.
It's just weird. Like I know part of it was they were mad because they couldn't get together and get like there's no real money in this, right? So basically they generated, I think it was they basically generate money through tickets to basically rent the hall and get up train, and trains brought around from everywhere else. So there's not like one general group. So these people were kind of dragging their feet, and the 40K community the 40K captains got mad and said, screw it, we're just going to do 40K and not any other stuff. So
yeah, it's from what I've read and what I heard in interviews and stuff, it's kind of like the way it ran is the captains from if they wanted to make any changes to 40K in terms of like adding teams or things like that, or the whole all the systems had to vote, not just the 40K stuff. So like the Flames of War captains would get a vote. The X-Wing captains would get a vote for anything that would affect 40K or any other system. So it's really hard to get changes made when people who don't even care about your system have a say.
Exactly.
Or a veto.
Yeah. There were money issues in terms of quality of the venue, depending on what country you went to.
I mean, really, it's just like the American political system.
Or like FIFA. It's basically FIFA.
Somebody who doesn't really have any care can just veto whatever they want.
Yeah, it's so you're in the well when I was like, so basically you're all getting mad at each other because other people can talk about it, and you're like, we're gonna do 40K on our own. I'm like, that's perfectly fine if you guys can get the money, because I mean it's a lot of it's just money issues. You're like, yeah. It's not cheap.
No, running these things is not cheap at all.
Yeah, so
especially for that size.
No, yeah, I mean Adam and us run 2 GTs here in SoCal, and that's like hard enough as it is.
Yeah,
and they're like what 80? Like, well, I think the biggest one this year is gonna be 80.
80 teams, but that's teams of 8.
Right.
So and that's why I have when I see people like we're gonna go to like 200 people, I'm like, oh my God bless you, but I would never do that.
I mean, it's a couple here. There's some here in town too, and I'm like, all right, you can do whatever you want to do, but I'll tell you right now that starts just the sheer quality of getting that much terrain and getting that much stuff put together. It's just maddening. I mean, we're dealing with that right now in our stuff, getting the terrain together. So
yeah, my favorite is the events that have started to post that they're going to be majors this year. When like last year they're like, yeah, we're gonna be a 256 person major, 3-day event. And I'm like, but last year you barely broke 100. How are you gonna grow to 256?
Yeah, I'm just glad to get 28. That's my goal. Yeah.
I mean, like
Hammer and Battle for LA have always made GT easy.
You know what? No, it always makes me sweat. I think we're in the upper 20s. I think at this point.
You're a nervous Nelly.
True. That's not, but that's also why things get done.
Nervous Nelly and a nosy Nancy. You're the worst alliteration of all time.
That's why I like the drama that is ETC.
It's just an odd thing. I mean, the drama in general and all of the 40K stuff that can happen can just be so ridiculous.
It's weird because it's such a niche of a niche. Oh,
100%. You're like, okay, so you're getting mad about this stuff. I just don't understand.
I have a theory, and it's a super unpopular one. Do you guys want to hear it?
Of course.
Sure. It's Salted John's. Everything's unpopular.
So this is true. So the theory is we're made up of a community of all people who had a terrible time in high school. So now we all act like we were the kids in high school that we hated, and we all act the way that we think that they acted, but in reality they really didn't act this way.
I actually didn't have a terrible time in high school, but that's a good theory.
I didn't either. My terrible time was junior high, but it's just a theory.
I had a terrible time in junior high, but not in high school. High school was fine.
Okay, we can amend my theory.
What I think happens is that
because there's a lot of like junior high girl type drama in our community, and I know because I teach junior high, and a lot of this is very relatable.
So you see all the signs.
What I see, yeah.
So you have exactly the sign. It's always a weird thing to me. And I always, for me as everything else, it's like I'm here to just play games. There's no money in this. You guys are fighting over nothing. I'm like this. There's just no money, right? So I'm like, I understand if if we had money situation or anything else, but you're fighting over nothing.
No, it's all pride, and that's why the school analogy makes sense because that's all we fought about in school too was pride.
Yeah.
Bragging
so
rights.
It always cracks me up because I just sit there. It's like it just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And people get so mad, and they get so upset. Like it doesn't matter at all.
Twitch Village Idiot says, of all the Salty John theories, that one probably belongs to the flat Earth column.
I'll take that column over the anti-vax column any day of the week.
Also, for those in the chat, Neo Kerr is formerly from the ETC. He's now WETC. So he would have the inside track. There's an interview with him and Stephen Box on his podcast that if you want to know what's going
Neil's
on.
or Steven's podcast?
Steven's.
Okay. That's the Vanguard one, right?
Yeah, the Vanguard Tactics
Gaming or Vanguard Tactics.
It's actually called the Competitive 40K Podcast, which is the most original title ever. But
his YouTube page is Vanguard Tactics.
His YouTube is Vanguard Tactics, yes.
Right, okay.
So listen to that episode. I believe it's episode 5, the most recent. And they have a better explanation of why and where they're going with the WTC.
Cool.
Had a wonderful game with Mr. Boxy at SoCal.
Yeah.
And I beat the crap out of him.
He was great. I hung out with him a little bit at LVO. He was really cool.
Oh, super nice guy. Super nice guy.
He did make me feel inferior, but I still like talking to him and hanging out with him. I'm pretty sure his shirts got smaller as the weekend went on.
Yes.
Shirts got smaller. Muscles somehow got bigger.
Yes.
Even though he was probably drinking a lot of alcohol, he probably was still working out.
That's exactly what it was. You're like, how are you still working out? How are you not working out? You're like, touche, sir.
So speaking of LVO, one of the things Goatboy was able to actually go 5-1, as I was corrected, with a very skew list that many knew of mainly because of Don Hoosen, not because of Goatboy. I mean, which do you want to go over your list, Thomas? Real quick?
Yeah. So I played basically 3 Lords of Skulls. I blamed Don for making me do it because we were talking about it, and it's like, well, the hell not. And I was able to get 2 more. It was I ran a Lord of Skull list with Lord Discordant, Master Possession, and then I ran Dark Apostle, and then I ran a 15-man Possessed Bomb with the minimum cultists. So it's a weirder list because I ran cultists, and I was correct when I played another cultist Possessed Bomb. My army was more of a problem for them when I got matched up with Vessel, because the Lord of Skulls are a pain in the ass for them to deal with, and then I have Possessed too, so you have to waste too much to sacrifice into that.
How many were in your Possessed Bomb?
15.
Okay.
So even with all that, you were able to fit 15 Possessed.
Mm-hmm. You can there's the other version of the list I have that I think is better for the upcoming Grey Knight that will show up. Forgoes Possessed because with all of their demons, and then runs a large amount of cultists to just get in the way, and then at that point in time you just shoot whatever comes down. There's a couple weird tricks that might be worthwhile to mess around with the Iron Warriors and Demon Smith causing extra hits on 6s, and
I use that one. And
then you use the Crown to cause extra hits on 6s to wound, and so you start having Gatling cannons doing like 16 wounds. Just What just happened?
Was there a healthy dose of Thomas dice?
Well, I mean, if you average it, you have 12 dice hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s.
Yeah.
That's usually going to be 6.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be 14 hits, and then you reroll those, and if you should get 2 wounds off that, then you shouldn't be able to generate any more dice. It's a weird wording because it says you shouldn't generate any more dice off of the wound one. It says you can't.
The crown.
Yeah, the crown doesn't generate dice. It has something in there saying these won't generate any extra attacks, i.e. when you do a wound. So I was like, yeah, you probably stop there. But if you start hitting like 16, it gets stupid.
Right.
Yeah. So how's your time at? See, we said you went 5-1, right?
Yeah, I played Brian, the nicest guy in 40K, Brian Pullen, round 1. How? And let me tell you, when you play 40K, you should read all your rules, because I thought one of my guns was 36 inches when it's 48. And being the size queen I am, I should have known that, but I didn't. And so I could have played a much more cagey game against Brian by just getting out of range of his army.
Right.
I was also stupid, and I was going to go first. And so I had set up to go first and maybe throw a Lord of Skulls into him real quick to cause some problems. And then he seized on me. So that was a sad game for me. And I was like, well, at least I got seized on by the nicest guy in 40K. So I'll take that.
Yeah.
You know.
Right.
Was that round 1 or 2?
That was a round 1.
Yeah, that's what
awesome. I was like, that's exactly what Thomas needs. And then I proceeded to bottom bracket all the way up and beat the crap out of people.
Yeah, there was nowhere to go but up at that point, right? 5-1.
Nowhere to go but up. So you know, I'll take that. I'll take that win. It felt good, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I felt bad for the people I had to go play afterwards. They're like, "What is this nonsense you just brought?" It's like, business time is what I brought.
You show up to the worst is when you show up to a table and goes, somebody goes, how did you lose with this?
yeah. People were like really confused, and it's like,
you're like, let me tell you.
I had round 2 against, I think her name was Tiffany. And what's funny is I said, it was really loud in the section. And I was like, hey, I'm Goatboy from BoLSCON. And she didn't quite, I don't think she quite heard me. And then afterwards, she's like, my team paid you to do their shirts. I was like, oh, I remember that shirt. And so she put 2 together, like, oh, you're Goatboy. I'm like, yeah, that's usually why I say that name. But, you know, so I felt bad. She was playing a nice little Sisters Army.
Okay.
It was very glittery. And I was like, that was awesome. And so I was like, oh, this is a rough game. I've done bad stuff. So, and then
sure, you had a much more fun time than John and I.
Oh yeah, I mean, you guys got bamboozled by all that hot mess. I even bamboozled John a little bit too, so I feel bad about that. I was a little bamboozly, but I try to keep it in chat. I didn't want to say it out and about, so I was nicer about it a little bit. And then, of course, I responded like, you know, not that it really matters that much to me, you know. So I apologize, John. I shouldn't have been as bitey, but you know.
Yeah, that's fine.
I know. That's why I knew I complained.
Yeah,
it's like it doesn't matter to me. Just like, you know, if you got mad at an event that you can yell at me. I don't care. At the end of the day, we're okay.
Yes, of course. Otherwise, you wouldn't be on the show.
Yeah, exactly.
Or maybe he would. I don't know. I could just surprise John with a special guest.
Special guest Thomas. I got a bone to pick with you, John.
All of a sudden, the stream goes down. Oh God, I don't know what happened, guys. Sorry.
Don't make me get on my soapbox and start yelling about you.
About me?
No. But
yeah. So you're doing a tournament in May.
June 12th through 14th. We are running the Bulls Open here in Austin. I am TOing it, so I'm the one you'll have a problem with. I'm also probably doing the paint judging, which I'll do my style of paint judging.
Uh-oh.
That's good. So not the style I do, where I give out yellow cards?
Well, I would like to give out yellow cards. I agree with it. Yellow cards and all that stuff. I think that was... I wish we had a little more yellow cards given out on stuff, and then some of the other yellow cards that did go out are weird, but you won't talk about that.
Are you talking about your event or LVO?
I don't know what I'm going to do with our event on yellow card stuff. I mean, most of the time I'll probably tell everyone, you know, you can show me the conversion. If I hate it, then you're going to have to deal with it.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I have a feeling that we maybe will get some better answers on that stuff that those things that are a pain in the ass right now in 40K.
Forge World.
Yeah, Forge World and
Thunderfire cannons,
Iron Hands
probably.
Imperial Fist.
Chaplain dreads.
I mean, good God, how many of these stupid fucking things do we have to fucking see now?
A lot.
So it is legitimately annoying. You're like, God. And the thing is, like, I saw some chaplain dreads. I was like, well, this conversion is actually pretty good. Like, this is a legit conversion, which is perfectly fine. And my favorite thing you guys did was like, we have this many chaplain dreads. Only this many people asked for their conversions.
Yes.
What does that tell you? And you're like, and it's like people are like, what do you mean my conversion's not right? Like, motherfucker.
It was either going to be tons of people who had unapproved conversions, or a lot of people who got stuff from China real quick.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, and that that's 100%.
We are just lucky that LVO happened when it did, not a week later when coronavirus was in full effect. There'd be an awful lot of resin carrying disease.
Yeah, it's so ridiculous. Like the whole thing, the whole thing is just bonkers to me. I just think the whole thing just gets so bonkers on some of this stuff.
Yeah.
So if you're not going to ATC, go to
Bowls Open. We won't be on the same time next year because I think Shane said he's moving back to his time before, which is July. So definitely come check us out.
I thought you guys used to do it in June, or was that just a long time ago? Because when I went, it was in June.
There was the other event, the old. I think it was August usually. So
I know the one time I went, it was over my birthday weekend.
So then,
because people kept buying me alcohol at the bar, and I was really drunk.
It was 10. I mean, it was like a 10. Now that I think about it, I was like, what, 10? Because I mean, the old event was like 10 years. So yeah, it's probably
that was like 20 years ago. John,
it was a while ago because Edwin was like 2, so and he's 9 now, so that's like 7 years ago.
No, I'm pretty sure it's 20.
It was 5th edition. I know it's 5th edition because I was playing my 5th edition Grey Knights.
I played a lot of 5th edition Grey Knights too. So yeah. I mean, do you remember that really dumb RVO Grey Knights army?
Yes.
The one that if I didn't have that draw would have been in the top 8. It would have been amazing. The army was so weird.
Yeah,
it was like, how do you play against this? You don't. It does weird stuff. You play so many Necron players, and I beat them up so bad.
Yeah.
So keep a lookout for that. Keep a lookout for the. You can get tickets now, right?
Right. So it's BoLSCON.com, I think. Just look at the Bowls Open. We have our tickets are up. The hotel is pretty decent. There's a walkable place for the beer garden nearby. We have multiple barbecue that's decent around there as well. Mm-hmm. Other kind of food if you want to try. So if you want to have like good Texas barbecue, we have a couple places that isn't waiting in line like Franklin's.
Okay.
So it should be a good time. As I said, we'll be running it. It should be it will be whatever ITC or whatever whatever's going on at that point.
Yeah.
So that's the plan. Bar any kind of massive changes or anything else going on.
9th edition book missions, all Maelstrom done.
No, there's a new thing. It's called Super Maelstrom. You got to have 3 decks, and what you do, you roll a D10, and that will tell you which deck you draw from. Mm-hmm. And then if you roll doubles on the D10, then you draw one of your opponent's ones.
I like it. And one of the decks is Magic, and you have to stop your game and play a round of Magic in the middle of your game.
Oh God, I still read a lot about Magic. I like the art.
I play with my kids.
I watch those videos of people opening packs because it makes me feel good. I'm like, I miss opening packs,
I don't miss that at all.
Oh, I just love it.
Just open war deck. Everyone's gonna use the open war deck. Calling it now.
I just buy random decks off of eBay and my kids and I play with them.
Oh, the Magic.
Yeah, Magic built decks.
I have friends who play a lot of Commander, so I played Commander and I enjoy it.
Okay.
But
so John and I went to an RTT, our local RTT.
Did you win?
No,
John did.
Well, no, I didn't win it. I went 2-1.
You didn't win it, but you won.
I did. I won my first 2 games. I lost my last one.
What army did you take? I forgot. I know it had knights in it.
Yeah, I took knights and space marines. So I took a battalion of Imperial Fists with a captain and a librarian. The librarian was a dumb choice. It didn't do anything all weekend, basically. And then I took 3 squads of scouts, of course, and then 2 eliminator squads. And then I took a spearhead with a lieutenant and 3 thunderfire cannons. And then I took a Imperial Knight super heavy detachment with a castigator and 2 gallants.
You don't get the doctrines, right? So you don't get the extra rule for more damage because the doctrine's not out.
No, I don't get the roll for that. So I took Imperial Fists so that way they would it would be they still got the ignores cover. Things I shoot at ignore the benefit of cover. So yeah, it's not as good as like taking pure whatever, but I mean I'm shooting 3 thunderfire cannons that are rerolling ones to hit, rerolling ones to wound. I can shoot one twice. Knights. I can use Trevor cannons if I want. I got eliminators. I mean, there's all the good stuff. Plus knights.
Yeah. And knights.
Plus, if you try to deal with those, you've got a castigator and 2 gallants in your face. Like, my castigator made turn 1 charges every single game.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is you're part of the Marine problem.
Yes.
I became part of the Marine problem. Yes, for a weekend.
Well, John likes to win. John wants to win. He's there to win.
I do play to win. Yes. Unless it's league games. League games I take a little bit more fun.
That's right.
And I kind of just play whatever I feel like and to learn new stuff. But yeah, if I'm playing in a tournament, I want to win my games. Always.
Yeah, I play to derp around because I'm usually helping.
Yeah.
And I usually play to win as well, so it's okay.
I took Iron Warriors with just trying some stuff out, which didn't work out so well. Which, if I'm going to continue with them, I have to change a few things. Although I'll probably just
more obliterators or less.
Less contemptors, more defilers, which
More
I think
possessed?
No possessed. It's mainly a shooting. The issue for that weekend was we were trying, and we'll talk about it a little bit later. We were trying out some new secondaries at the tournament. We volunteered our tournament to try them out that John had come up with, and so I just chose them just to try them out, as did my opponent. And in both games, my opponents were armies that were much more mobile than I was. The first one was actually Knights and Grey Knights, and so because the secondaries we were trying out had a lot more movement type objectives, he was able to rack those up fairly quickly.
Yeah. I played all those new Maelstroms too. I liked them. It was fun.
No, they're fine. They're fine for an army built for that.
Yeah,
my army's not built for that. If we had played the normal ITC, it probably would have been a closer game. I had a better chance of winning. I'm not sure if I would have still won the first game, but not having built my army, because my armor is very static. It doesn't have a lot of early game. So when I pull something that's like basically have a unit in each quarter, wholly within each quarter, I'm not going to get that.
Right.
Things like that,
I won my first game by 1 point. If I had taken regular secondaries, it wouldn't have been close. And then my second game, I won by quite a few. And the last game I played against Richard Codesart, and I lost, and that was just because Richard's a better player than me. He's just a straight up better player than I am, and that was that. Like, there's nothing to it. I made mistakes because I was not familiar with Space Marines because I hadn't really been playing Space Marines, or at least not that style. I'd been playing Salamanders, and that does not play like Imperial Fists at all. So that was that.
I had no desire to play Space Marines. It's just one of those things that just don't have any desire at all.
The only Space Marines I've ever seen you play are Space Wolves, right?
I played Space Wolves. That was the only real Marines I played. I guess I played Grey Knights too.
Well, they're not quite Space Marines, Grey Knights. You won the Bay Area Open playing Space Wolves, right?
I got second. If I wouldn't have failed a difficult terrain check and lost a Grey Hunter, I would have won.
That's right. Yeah,
it was a very sad day. I was like, "Are you serious?" And the thing is, I was trying to win more by just moving him. I'm like, I'm not very smart.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah, so that was the RTT. John, did you come in 4th or something like that?
No, I went 2-1. I think I came in like 6th.
Was it 6th? Oh, because we had
I had low scoring games, and we had 2
plus we had
undefeateds.
20 players.
Yeah.
Which was higher than normal. So I dropped after the second game because everyone else was dropping, and we had an odd number.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up because I'm more or less the ringer,
Right.
and so I ended up dropping and just looking forward to the next tournament at ITC season. I know I'm doing Sisters for the foreseeable future.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my lord, those new models are really nice, but God, those rhinos look impossible. Just hard to paint.
I have 3 exorcists that we'll see what's going to happen.
You got the new ones or the old ones?
The new ones.
They are hot. They're awesome looking, but oh my God, it's just.
I know
They're hard to put together.
No, they're just the amount of details.
Just the detail.
Adam's never going to paint the detail.
Yeah, so it's not an issue.
He's probably going to do Black Legion Sisters, where he sprays in black, does some gold details, and calls it a day.
That's about it.
It is.
3 colors.
I don't even think you could if you look at them, the amount of weird crap on them, you can't even really do that because there's like every single little section has a statue.
I've painted 3 Helldrakes and a shit ton of Raptors and 30 Raptors, and so I'm all that edge.
All that edge work. He's a master edger.
Yeah, I'm an edge lord. Apparently.
He is an edge lord.
I didn't want to say that. That's what my brain and it was like. That's what he's saying. I know it.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. I'm playing Grey Knights.
You're
jumping
going
on
to
that bandwagon.
I got a bunch of. I've had a bunch of them coming in the mail from FLG for like over a week now.
Yeah.
So,
I literally got all my sisters that I need today from FLG.
Nice.
The Grey Knight army that I played at that one L. My face on. I had a 3D print of my face made. So I'm one of the librarians on there.
Oh my god!
Yeah, it's pretty funny. It's like a Bowls thing. I was like, "You want to print your face?" I'm like, sure.
Well, my battle film pack airbag is still the one where you drew the Grey Knight for on there for me.
I like the army. I think it looks interesting. I don't know how good it's going to be. I think normal Marines are just going to do on them a little bit.
Yeah.
Iron Hands are like this. You cast smites. You know what I do? Leviathan. Like, oh, you piece of shit.
Yeah, the Leviathan needs to be dealt with. It needs to go away.
But I have 3 of them on order.
And what sucks is they're fine in every other army.
Yeah.
Right? They're perfectly fine in every single other army. It's just it's like remove the cognitive martyrdom, remove that. I mean, I guess in the Grey Knight one, they can smite it out because you can't cognitive martyrdom smites. So
well, then I'll go back to what I said on Chapter Tactics with Pablo on Monday. Just get rid of the supplements. Ban the supplements.
Yeah.
And you're done. Like then everything's balanced again all of a sudden.
Yeah,
because they're the problem. It's the supplements that are the problem. The regular Space Marine Codex is fine.
Yeah, because you're like, what did you guys do? You gave them free rules. Do we know this is bad?
You think they would have learned from 7th and the formations?
I don't know. There was chatter that they said they wanted to make the Marines even. I was like, oh, what?
Yeah, that they wanted to make them better. Yeah, that's what we heard. That's what I heard anyway too.
Yeah. But didn't make them good enough, and you're like, they know.
Yeah.
Like the Leviathan thing. I'm surprised you didn't see that in the FAQ that just came out. So I was like, all right, well.
Yeah, I was a little shocked there wasn't something after the ridiculousness of LVO, but it is what it is.
No offense on Ziegler, but those games look boring as hell to watch.
They were.
Him and Kima's games. Chima?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Chima, not Kima, right?
John, can you type louder, please? I can't.
Hey, John, could you eat something while you're typing too?
I could. I could.
I think I'm going to have a random conversation with someone in my room that's not here, but give me a second. I'll be right.
I'm talking to the chat.
John, can you leave your phone on, please? Thanks.
My phone's never on. My phone, when I get a new phone, it goes on to vibrate and it never comes off.
But so that being said, that's what we're going to do for the new. I think Tom from our show is also doing Grey Knights, right?
Yeah, I said I was going to do him first. He jumped on the bandwagon.
I love it. No, I'm first.
He got his models first, but I said I was doing them first.
Well, plus you did them in 5th edition, so
I did.
I have. I mean, like I said, I have a Grand Army too in the 6th and 7th edition. So
Yeah,
I would
I'm doing
love for
sisters.
Space Wolves to get some good love in the last Psychic Awakening, but I'm not holding out hope.
I
Well,
have a that giant Space Wolves that Christmas bundle they sold with the Storm
Mm-hmm.
Wolf, the
Mhm.
Wolf. I have that just in case.
Nice.
So I'll either
See,
build a
how-
Space Wolf army or I'm selling it.
My Black Space Marine army has tons of Space Wolf bits on it, so I'm set. I don't care.
Okay. Yeah.
And I
in
have
case.
like 30 Fenrisian Wolves, so hopefully those are good.
Well, I know what. Like I have all my Space Goats, and I mean, having Space Goats come back would be great. And then, of course, I'd get yellow carded because they are.
They would be
Instantly.
awesome. No, your Space Goats would get approved. It's fine.
Yeah, they're. And you know what's funny is I found more goat heads and goat parts. So I was like, well, I could make more. And
You
like,
just
no
use
problem.
Beastmen, didn't you, or no?
I use like Beastmen and just use heads and parts, and then I use orc arms a lot of times to get the kind of the more loping kind of look and everything else. So that's kind of what I worked on.
Yeah, I remember liking that army.
It was. I mean, I had fun. I did all right with it. I wish. Like right now, I'm just used to doing basically like the latest thing I just finished. I just 5th armor girder for my lightning luck armor girder.
Okay, that's the Morax one.
Yeah,
with
so now I have
double lightning locks.
double. So now I have 5 with double lightning locks and 3 melta cannon knights. That's the correct way to play
Chaos
Knights.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do that, it's like, and the thing is, like my dumb Lord of Skulls army just loves playing knights. It's like, come on,
Right.
this game's gonna be dumb.
Yeah, as a knight player, I would be like, I don't want to play those.
Yeah.
Especially since
You're
the
like,
knights I use are always like the assault ones.
yeah, the assault ones are like this. So wait, I can charge you, and I probably won't kill you. Yeah,
And you'll probably
then
kill
you
me in
can kill
return,
me.
yeah.
100%. Like you hit like the worst thing was like we had a game at this guy this poor Emperor's Throne would charge me with two demon princes and some cultists, and he hit me with a demon prince. It's like, well, you knock me down to the second bracket. I'll go ahead and pay 2 command points, and then I kill both demon princes. I sweep the legs on both of them, and he's like, I shouldn't have done it that way. He's like, no, you shouldn't have. Yeah.
Live and learn.
Yeah.
Are you gonna stick with this list for a little while longer, or do you have an idea of what you want to do next?
I don't know what I want to do next. I mean, we've got demon engines coming out as approved, so I'm kind of excited with the thought process of getting more rules for Chaos Knights. So I'm kind of looking at that to see what's going on. I've got a crap ton of client work to paint, so I'll be painting a lot of client stuff. I finished that one last Chaos Knight, so I can just play that if I want to. Okay. Versus thing and Lord of Skulls.
You posted on Instagram today were for a client, right?
Oh yeah. They're nothing. Like he's a client. He's been about 2 or 3 years that he's had me do stuff. Cool. And so we sit there and chit chat over a phone. He's like, hey, I've got this idea. What can you do for me? I'm like, what do you want? Because you've been with me for 3 years. You get access to the bits I have in my house. So let's see what we can put together. And he likes the Phobos captains because they're all Raven Guard successor. So he's like, let's go to town. So I started making Smash captains out of Phobos guys.
Okay.
So, and they look like, if you go look on, it's on my Instagram. So that's where I usually post all my other stuff. And then all the new art. I'm doing some art for Mr. Nick Nanavati. So fun times.
Yeah. Sounds good.
But you don't have an idea. So you're gonna stick with the Lord of Skulls for now?
Probably. I'm gonna do some tweak. Like there's one of them I bought that was already, and I started tweaking the paint. So I'll probably tweak the paint again.
Okay.
Clean it all up. I still have to make another demon prince because I've got problems. So yeah, I don't know. Like, so there's like, I've been wanting to do defilers in art. The Grey Knights make me really sad, so I don't want to do defilers anymore.
Right. Yeah, I wanted to utilize that extra hits on 6s with the Iron Warriors, and that's why I was thinking defilers now instead of the Contemptors. But I have all the Sisters of Battle stuff, and I actually want to like make an effort to actually do better this year. So I may have to stick with that army for a majority of the year.
I thought you said your competitive days were behind you.
my ultra. I still want to do better than 2 and 4.
Oh, you still want to do better than certain players on our team?
Yes. Yes, I have to maintain an image, I guess.
Hey man, I went 2 and 4 at BAO last year, so I only have up to go from here. That was the worst showing I've ever had at the Bay Area Open in my entire career. I've only missed 2 Bay Area Opens, and that was the worst. I've always been 50 or better.
It's always, you have to have those times where like, I am just sucking.
Well, I wasn't planning on going.
Yeah,
I was
John
kind of
went
in
at
the
the last
middle of a
minute.
break, and from 40K, I take breaks every now and then. And
Yeah.
I was in the middle of a break, and Reese said on Frontline Gaming on what's it called, Signals. He's like, yeah, let's see, who do I think are favorites? Well, you can never count out people who come all the time, like Salty John. And I was like, so I messaged him in our chat. I'm like, dude, I'm not going. And he's like, oh well. And I was like, shit. All right, I'm gonna go. So I got to take.
You don't
and I
want to
cobbled
make Reese a
together.
liar.
I know, and I cobbled together an army at the last minute. I was like, all right, what do I know how to play? Knights. Okay. Well, the Castellan got kind of nerfed. Okay, so fuck it, I'll take 2. And I took 2. I would have been way better off with Castellan, Valiant, Gallant, and Guardsman than the double Castellan and the Gallant and Guardsman.
Yeah.
But it was fine. It was fine. I almost won the first
was...
game against Sean Morgan.
That was shown when we did the night challenge that had the Valiant of Castellan.
Yeah, the Valiant was good. So
it's always weird on those. When I think at LVO, I think Kenny did real bad, right? Is that what also did real bad?
Yes. Yeah.
And he's just like, it's one of those it's one of those things that at that point you're like, I just don't know. I have a friend who before LVO, he finally won, like, I think he won the last 2 games. He had lost 9 games in a row at events.
Jeez.
9 games. And so I was like, well, you take a senior director role at the company we're at. That's why you're losing. He's like, it's going to happen, Tom. He said, you start moving further up the thing, you're just going to lose it. And I'm like, I guess you're right. So, it's just ridiculous. And you just sometimes you have to have those games. You're like, I'm just in the bed so bad that there's nothing else I can do.
Yeah, that's true.
We'll see. I think
I went to the one BAO, the one that you got second in. I went to that with the Grey Knights in 5th edition, thinking I was going to win the whole thing. Like, I was driving up in the car, I was like, man, Grey Knights are so good right now. And I got there and like half the field with Grey Knights, and I was like, oh man. And then I played the only 3 Eldar players there in a row. I went Eldar.
Like, what do you do?
Well, because they all took like Eldrad, and they all kept turning off all my powers. And I was like, oh, all right. Well, I think I eked out 2 wins, but lost 1 to Eldar.
I beat up Eldar at this LVO. I was very happy. Played a wonderful guy from Denmark, Kielik. He didn't kill a Lord of Skulls when he flew up with everything, and then my Lord of Skulls decided to start to kill everything he had. And then I was like, wait, your range is this far and my range is this far? Yeah, I'm not going to come near you. And just shot. And then one Lord of Skulls who hadn't been touched all game was like, once you killed everything, he's like, I'm just going to go up the field and start eating stuff. So he just started driving up the field eating stuff.
God.
Nice. I'm always a fan of Eldar losing.
Yeah, I think, John, you're going to BAO this year, correct?
I am. I'm going to the Bay Area Open again. I try hard to never miss it.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go this year. I missed last year. Mainly because I couldn't get the time off.
Right.
But this year I should be able to.
I haven't been in a while. I came one year when it was a game castle.
Oh, yeah.
That thing. Yeah, and then I haven't been back in a while. I'm trying to remember this year. Like, this year I actually get to go to Nova.
Oh, okay. Wow. That's cool.
It falls off of my anniversary finally.
Nice.
And I told Brent, it's like, I actually get to go. My wife says, okay, I'm going to be sending her to Chicago and some other places, to go do something while I watch the kids. So it's okay. I can come to Nova. For one.
I'm actually going to Adepticon this year.
Ooh.
Oh, you finalized that?
As far as I know, we still have a team.
No, I mean, you finalized it with the wife.
Yeah, I said I'm going to Adepticon this year. That's finalizing it.
You said it real quiet. I'm going to BoLSCON this year, right?
No, I don't. I say, hey, I'm going to this. I might go to this team tournament in near Chicago at the end of March. And then about a week later, I said, oh yeah, I'm going to this thing in Chicago at the end of March. And then I just booked the flights, and that was it.
All right, fair enough.
Oh, look at you.
I just owe her a trip to Catalina. That's about it.
That's
So.
not bad. Plus, you
It's
don't
not
have
too
any
bad.
kids at home anymore.
No, I'm an empty nester.
Oh, I've got 2 monsters.
Sucker.
Yeah, me too.
That's because I had them late, so that's the fault.
I had them early, but not actual Mexican early.
Yeah, you weren't like 16.
I was a late.
18 early?
I was a late bloomer.
So what? 17?
No, 22.
That's earlier than me. I had mine at 25. No, 26 and 27.
I had mine at 37.
Wow.
That's late.
And then 40.
Oof.
So yes, but this is what I said. You know, when you have your first marriage, sometimes you take a little bit longer to have the children's.
Yeah, I would have never pegged you for being 40 or more.
I didn't smoke cigarettes, and I wasn't too crazy.
Nice.
I didn't drink too heavily.
You also didn't have any kids early.
There's the other one.
They age you fast.
I think that's it. Yes.
That's why priests always just look so young.
Oh,
Not married, no kids.
no kids. But
I'm not touching that.
When are they gonna FAQ these Iron Hands, man?
Never. After Adepticon.
I
Alan's asking whose team I'm on. I'm on with Danny Javensky from our group.
I think it's
and
Janevsky.
Janevsky, whatever.
He's
Wow,
on
you
our
really-
team, man.
It's not
You really-
Spanish, so I don't know it.
You really ruined that name. Brad.
It's fine. It's not. If it was a Latin name, I'd pronounce it perfectly.
So you just why don't you just call him White Guy Number 1?
We have, I think, 3 of them. I think I'm the only dark person on the team. So it's Danny. I should just say Australian Danny.
Yes,
It's
Australian.
Danny. Nick Scolari. No,
Okay.
Nick Lozano. Sorry,
Yeah, not
2
Scolari.
Nicks. Nick Lozano, and then Nick's friend. So
With
so
all the
we'll see.
duplicate common names we have, it's amazing to me we don't have a second John.
Yeah, my brother.
Oh, that's right. I forgot your brother.
That's right. Everyone does.
Sorry, John. No, that sucks because he always drives us to Vegas. My bad, dude.
I know.
How far is the drive to Vegas for you?
It's like 3 hours, 3.5, 4 hours.
Oh, that's not bad.
It's not, no. But I don't have to do any of the driving either because Adam's brother
Yeah.
John always does it.
The one you forget about all the time is also named. In the
I
same
don't
name.
forget about him all the time. I forgot about him in this instance.
Are
I
they,
actually like Adam's brother a lot.
yeah, I don't like Adam, but I like Adam's brother a lot.
You said
that's
the
true.
quiet part loud. I didn't.
Yes. He said- Except you say that all the time, John. It's
That's
not.
true.
It's
I do
never
say it all the
quiet.
time. That's true. Well, it was quiet
Yeah.
today. I hadn't said it yet.
Oh my god.
Are they? They're changing venues next year, right? Is that what's
I
happening?
believe so, but I'll probably only go this year. I don't know. We'll see. This year I'm going. I don't really plan for following years. I want to go once just to say I've been there. Like I went to Nova 2 years ago, but this will be my first time at Adepticon. And
Yeah,
I'll be
I
there
have
from
no
Wednesday
interest.
to Sunday. Really? I just want to
No.
go because it's like the oldest one out of all.
I used to
our
go
main-
every year. Like I used to go every year for like 5 years in a row. 1 year our plane tickets got canceled because they had this big American issue, so we drove there.
Oof.
The next year we drove in a van, roast all the way up there with one of my good friends who could fall asleep instantly and snore so loud. It was like, I don't know how you do this. I'm going to murder him.
Was it Larry?
No. It was a buddy, Pat, a good friend of mine
Okay.
from way back in college days. And I was like, I'm going to kill you, Pat.
Didn't you know this from college?
What's that?
Didn't you know that from college from him snoring?
There's many times when I had a parents' lake house that I try to fold them in a couch I threatened him many times. We worked at a comic book store together, and there was a time he fell asleep behind the magic boxes, and he's just snoring away. And I'm like, I don't know.
Are you sure this guy didn't have like narcolepsy or something?
Well, he had real bad sleep apnea, so
Okay.
I think he never really got enough sleep.
Right.
He's
So he was
he
just
has
always
fixed,
tired.
always tired. Nothing. He's fixed it now, so he's gotten the surgeries and stuff to fix it now. So like, so he's a good. I've known him for a long time. Like I think the only person that has known me, current wife, because I knew her.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've known that dude for.
So if you happen to see me at Adepticon, come say hi. I'll be walking around looking at stuff because the team tournament's Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, it's the team tournament is come up there and ask him where his brother.
Ask me where my brother is. But it should be fun. We'll see.
It's Chicago. It's out there. I mean, it's a true it's an actual convention. Oh, Larry's gonna be there, so go say hi to Larry.
Okay, I will.
Another brown guy in Chicago.
There you go. See,
we have some fun stories about Adepticon with that.
So it should be fine.
Yeah, it should be fine. And you'll have there's always the cool seller. There's it's an actual convention now.
Yeah,
with stuff
there's tons of vendors and stuff, and new games and new companies.
Yeah, I was hoping I could play in the Blood and Valor tournament, which is a World War I 28mm game.
You and your World War I game that you're obsessed with.
Is it good?
It's the first tournament. It's the same guys that did Blood and Plunder, which is the pirate game. If you're familiar with it,
I know the name.
It's the same system. It's Firelock Games is the company.
Good well, fortunately, that's all we have for tonight, everybody. We'll see you later.
Boop.
John's going to make me mention how he's building Flames of War with him and his son.
Yeah, my kid is he wants to do Flames of War, so
that's right.
We'll do it.
I got his helmet ready.
He's not going to wear a helmet.
The tanks are cool looking.
They are actually. I just built the Tigers with him last night. The 2 Tiger tanks that came in the German starter kit. We built the Panzer IVs from it and the 2 Tigers. They're pretty cool.
I'm building T-34s. So
if only 40K tanks work like real tanks.
Yeah, right. If only there's a lot of things for 40K.
Yeah.
Let's see. Speaking of that, do you want to talk about the new things that could potentially be in the ITC missions?
Yeah. So if anyone's been on the Comp 40K Facebook group or just around, or if you listen to the recent episode of Chapter Tactics,
or you read any of my Frontline Gaming articles last week,
there's a number of documents floating about in regards to the new ITC missions. 90% of them are not real.
Yes.
I say.
So Steve Hampreen did a wonderful job getting him on map.
Yeah, I think he did a better job of that than I did.
It's amazing, and it's and if you look at it, he just these are. It says that these are my suggestions, right? Yeah. There's nothing in there. So it's just
because the first thing he put out looked super official. Because he just made a copy of the actual ITC things, exactly. And so it's still got all the letterhead and the images and stuff.
Yeah. You're exactly right. That's what I was like. I see what you did there, Mr. Pamperine.
It was pretty funny.
I know.
I didn't hate a lot of his suggestions. A lot of them were fine.
Yeah,
but the things I didn't think were fine, I did fucking hate.
Okay. How you feel?
Do we have the real ones so I can look at? Or
they're supposed to come out tomorrow.
Yeah, we're trying to get them out tomorrow.
Yeah.
For people to start testing and giving us feedback.
Yeah, and then they'll be finalized within 2 weeks or so.
Before the end of the month.
Right.
Anything crazy?
Yes.
Everything's crazy.
Everything.
It is pandemonium. Dogs and cats are living together. It's mass hysteria.
So it's do we need more paper to keep the score of some way?
Yes, you're going to need more paper. Formula? You're going to need D20s. You're gonna need decks of cards, and you'll probably need a 3x3 table, which Frontline Gaming is putting out 3x3s because they just sold all their 4x6. If you just came to the show now, I'm kidding about that. That's a joke.
I love it. I love it
Oh
because
my
you
God.
look at it like, hey, these are masks are not directly. It's good for events. That's why we're selling them.
Oh my God.
No, it's not going to be anything like earth shattering. It's going to be good.
It's just suggestions we have seen and by the other TOs in our group in the Facebook group that we're in.
Yeah, I think Reese took a lot of feedback and went through all the feedback from various places, and that's what he used when cobbling it together. And then we've been looking at it and stuff. So
We, like I mentioned earlier, that we were doing a new type of secondaries.
we were testing those out last weekend.
We're testing those out. There's a slight change to them for the better, in my opinion, especially because I thought they sucked after that first game. But I think, make sure you got everyone like takes a look at them and test them out.
Don't just like look at them, read through, and be like, "This sucks." Like, actually try them.
Actually play them, please.
if you come back with a comment within, I don't know,
hours,
3 hours of us posting them, that they are terrible, we're just going to disregard your opinion. Clearly,
and I will ban you from Comp40K.
Yes, please.
But I mean, some of the things we've thought about and is actually what has been circulating, but it wasn't official. So you can't really tell. Couldn't say at the time what they actually were.
Right.
But I mean, some of them are more or less. There's no cards, so you don't have to go out and buy Maelstrom cards unless you want to.
Well, we have the new Maelstrom cards by Frontline. It's called Frontline Storm cards.
Storm cards.
That would be hilarious. We should do that.
Oh God, we should just make that.
Typhoon cards, Hurricane cards, open conflict cards.
Yes.
For the narrative players.
Open conflict.
Well, I'm more than happy to look through them and test them. The biggest thing I looked at is I was looking at how deployment. I saw the deployment discussion. So.
There were changes made to deployment too. I don't remember exactly where we landed, but
I'm looking at what Reese posted, so I can I can say it.
Oh yeah. No, yeah, I don't remember. I can't remember if we were if one of the things was like fixed deployment or not. I think that was one of the things we discussed.
We talked about so many things when it came to deployment. I no longer remember where we landed.
Yeah, these last couple of days have been very frantic in terms of the messages, where there was like, oh, there's 150 messages I missed.
And at one point we had like 3 different Google Docs we were working in.
Yes.
Well, we'll see if it's deployment system where it's attacker defender type thing. So.
Yeah. There's a few, like I mentioned, almost like a Maelstrom chart as opposed to a Maelstrom cards. We discussed using the cards. I think Reese mentioned that we're probably going to make the chapter approved 2019 missions like quote unquote official.
Like it'll state in the packet if tournament organizers want to use them for ITC events, they can. Rather than like saying it online, but it's not in the packet. So if it's not in the packet, then TOs ignore it.
Yeah, if it's not in the packet, it's not real. We all know that.
Right.
Yeah, that's exactly how it is.
Yeah.
So just more options for TOs to not just do the normal 6 missions.
And we're adding 3 missions, so it's 9.
Yeah, so you're gonna have 9 quote unquote ITC missions. Then you'll have the chapter approved missions that you can use also. But I don't know about mixing them only because of the point values. I guess it doesn't matter as long as you get a win. But
no, the point values are the same.
But not with the chapter approved.
Oh yeah, no, I don't think you can mix those. That wouldn't work. You'd have to do all one or the other, unless you're gonna change it, because it's not just a win; it's a win. You also accrue the points, and the points are put into your multiplier.
Right.
Or not your multiplier, but they're added to the 1,000 points.
No, they don't do the 1,000 point anymore.
I thought they did.
No, they don't do that. It just says win. You either get 1 for a win, 0.5 for a draw.
Oh yeah.
0 for a loss. Yeah, so you could mix them because it's just battle points at that point for the tiebreaker, and everybody's playing the same mission.
Right. See you, Tony. He's leaving.
Okay.
Tony.
From Hammerhead Games, hammerheadgames.net.
Mm-hmm.
.net.
.net. I always used to say .com.
Used to.
You don't let me say it anymore, so how do you know what I would say
know.
currently?
Probably say it in your mind.
Probably. So look for that tomorrow. If you're watching, or if you're listening, they probably already hit.
Yeah, if you're listening, they should be out by Friday. We're recording on a Thursday.
Yeah.
Monday at the latest.
Hopefully,
we did talk about that. We did talk about deployments, fixed objectives. What else did we talk about? Changing the primaries, changing the secondaries, changing some of the secondaries themselves, and so we talked about a lot of stuff.
Yes.
So when they come out, make sure everybody that's listening, make sure you try them out, whether it's your league, just by yourselves with your buddy, or at RTT
with your mom.
And let us know. Let us know what you think, because that's going to be important in what we decide to actually use.
Yeah.
No, I'm just looking at the chat really quick.
No. Anything fun in the chat?
No.
Not really.
No.
They talk back and forth a lot, which is good. Talking about being banned on Comp 40K.
We're talking about the Battles app, ITC Battle app.
Mm-hmm. Will majors have preset terrain? That depends entirely on if the major has enough terrain to do preset terrain. And I would imagine it would be more like, if they're smart about it, they do it like LVO did with the top 100 tables. Because preset terrain like they did at the Atlanta Open is not good. And if you want to hear about that, we talked about it a little bit on Chapter Tactics this week with Pablo and Stephen Pramprine and Scary. But I would imagine they will do it more like LVO did it, where it's set for the specific deployment types, not set period. So
right.
But that also is totally dependent on if you have enough terrain. If you don't have the terrain that's the same for that many tables, you can't do it. You literally can't do it. So.
Yeah, we're doing. We have 4. I think we're doing 4 or 5 different type of tables for us.
Nice.
So we have heavy, medium, light, and like different kinds of light and everything. So you'll have super heavy boards. You'll have super. So you have different ones. So you have like different avenues for trying to play the game. So you're never like, you don't know what kind of table. So we're kind of splitting it up as we go through the match of tables.
Yeah, I saw the pictures of your heavy table. They look very cool.
Heavy as shit.
Yeah, which is fine. Like, if as long as people going into it know, they can plan for it. They can adjust if they want to or not. Like, whatever. You know.
That's the plan. So my Lords of Skulls on the heavy table against Knights on the heavy table. So we like running around the giant building.
Nice.
Like, oh crap, as a try not to die to shooting. I think I failed every spell that game too. It was amazing.
Yeah, so someone's asking whether these are tests or final. So the missions coming out tomorrow are all test missions, so that we want everybody to test out and give us feedback on. And then by the end of the month, we'll give you the final form of the ITC missions for this season. And for those that haven't done a season before, we usually use the month after LVO to make these changes for the following year.
Yeah, that's usually the common thing. You have like LVO and refresh, get the planning, and then
there's still events, but that still go towards the score. But usually it's not that big of a deal. Last year we had an issue because we decided to change the way you figure out what faction you belong to, and that upset a few people.
Yeah, and then it ended up not being a deal by the time LVO came around because nobody cared anymore.
Well, it's not even that. Some people were upset because anybody who went to an early tournament that allowed for more of a mixed faction to be claimed as a pure got higher points or better score, but none of those people that scored early, those scores didn't even matter.
Right.
Because bigger events were going on later in the year when the pure rule was in effect. So they got more points. But this year it's mainly just the missions. So have a look at them. Make sure you try them out. Let us know, and give us your feedback on them. We really appreciate it. So you can't really complain afterwards if you didn't send any feedback, just like if you didn't vote.
That's correct. Can't complain.
100%. Can't complain and don't vote.
That's correct. What is this listener request?
So one of the listeners messaged us and asked about they're starting out new in the game and they want to know about kind of like what you do during deployment or during your pregame and during deployment. Some of the like I put I thought I put it there tips and tricks for that.
For
So
what?
For just in general, not army specific. Like Thomas, what do you during pregame? Is there anything you do or look for, especially in spending CPs?
Most of the time, I try to look at what I can and can't do to armies. Like the Lord of Skulls army didn't have a whole lot of shifting. I mean, there was like a half of my army try doing with some of the Alpha Legion warlord traits that would have could have let me be tricksy. Most of my time is I'm looking at opponent's army. I'm deciding what will be threats, how they'll pose threats, and ways I can either have the opponent go after the wrong threat or mitigate that threat, with average dice. So that's kind of the way I look at any kind of game. I was like, okay, I got to try to do this. I got to try to do that. What can I get? What secondaries can I get and make sure I can hit my 12? And kind of go with that that direction. And sometimes I'm lucky and I pick the right stuff. Other times I'm up in ranges. So, but that's kind of how I look at most stuff as a pre-deployment. Usually when I'm building a list, I kind of look at all the stuff that I know I can pre-game. If you ever come to my table, you'll see that I'll have a cheat sheet with me where I will list the things I can do if I'm smart about it.
Yeah.
So I say, I want to do this. If I face this, if I see this, what to kind of try to do and the options I try to do. So that's the kind of planning on it. You could also just play Marines and not worry about it. Say, screw it. Or Iron Hands.
It's true.
I mean, I beat up a lot of. I like usually the armies I play can beat up the normal Iron Hand list. It's usually the Raven Guard lists that are more of a problem. If they're played by someone because they'll just come out all over the place. You're like, no, stop touching me, bad touch.
Yeah.
Centurions need to be looked at. I'll just say that.
I'm sure they'll get smacked with the Nerf bat.
Yeah,
but not until after Adepticon.
Yeah, probably not.
Which is normal. That they've done. That's what they did last time. They see the problem. They usually see the issue at LVO, and they wait until after the spring FAQ to quote unquote fix it.
Right.
With the rumors of a new edition, though, I don't even know if they'll do that. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Pre-game, I usually like to make sure that I don't spend too many CPs. Like even when coming from somebody who was playing Knights a lot for the last year and a half, like you could go crazy and spend way too many CPs before the battle on stuff you definitely did not need to do.
Oh yeah.
You can do the same thing with Space Marines if you're not careful too, except they're so forgiving, like it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I watched Seeger spend like 9 CPs before the game even started. Yeah. He still had like 9 left.
Well, you got to make your Leviathan Dread a character and give her the thing.
Yeah.
And then you got to make 8 other things, something, Teeth of Terra and whatever other nonsense you got to do. Got to do the things so that you get the Tome of Malkador, so you can take the extra power from the opposite tree.
Yeah, their rule of being able to take extra stuff a lot easier for one is really...
Yeah, they have a lot of superpower CP things that they can do pre-battle. We were talking I think it was yesterday or today, in our chat about how like Grey Knights don't get that. Like you can't buy a Warlord trait.
Oh, an extra one, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like why was there no Warlord traits in that book?
Well, yeah, that's true. There were no Warlord traits for it, but you have the one that you want. You have the one that's the reroll charges.
Right. That's
but it doesn't come on any of the name characters, so you got to put it on somebody. So Tom was talking about how he's going to put on his Paladin Ancient. He's going to take in the Warlord.
Oh
it's really weird because it was a weird. Did they fix Grey Knights? I was like, well, yeah, they made them viable. But there's a lot of missing things. Like there's weird, like missing things, and you're like, "Where's Where's this? Oh, the other big nice thing is you can't buy that chaplain.
Oh,
Right,
the
yeah, you can't buy it. I'm painted one because I think someone gave me one like when it first came out,
Mm-hmm.
and then I painted and I sold it. Like a client that's bought stuff from me before, I was like, I want this chaplain guy, but I can't find it. I was like, I have one here. You want it? Because he's an old client, so I was like, just pay me the paint and a little bit of the model. I don't care.
Right.
So I sold it for less than what's going for.
Yeah, I think for myself, it's usually like John said, managing the CPs and whether to spend that extra CP for like an extra relic, or if or even before you're building your army, just for formations. Like if I had taken the devastation battery formation that lets me shoot the obliterators after my opponent is finished with their movement phase,
Right.
that would have helped a lot because I went second in my games.
Mm-hmm.
And if I had put them on the board and was able to do that, I think it would have hurt a few of my opponent's units.
That would have been pretty good. You should have done that.
But I didn't because I's not smart.
So this listener that asked the question, was that you?
No, it wasn't me.
You need advice after playing terribly?
No.
Okay.
No, I can identify when I play terrible. It's not
Look,
it's not
look,
the
John, I can't be as good as you going 2-4, okay?
That's right.
Actually, I can because I went 2-4 SoCal.
It's true.
2 years in a row.
We both did very well this year at our 2 major events we went to.
Yeah. Yeah, at Boise, I went 2-1. Full 500.
Nice.
But usually that, and just like always, just looking at my opponent's army, especially if I know it, I know what to look for. If I don't, I try to ask questions, things like that. I think asking questions is something that a lot of people don't do because they'll look at a list and they'll just like skim it. They won't really look at it. And if there's something that looks odd or something you've never seen before, you just want to double check and make sure.
Ask questions
of what something can or can't do, because that can be important where you deploy. During deployment, depending whether it's all at once or one at a time, it also depends on the mission and what army I'm playing and the style I'm playing. But I try to keep all my stuff fairly close together so my characters can, especially my warpsmith with the army I'm currently playing, can run around and heal whatever units wounded. Whatever.
because you got all those damn contemptors.
Mm-hmm.
I think my next fun army is it's 3 Soulburner Contemptors, 2 Leviathan Close Combat Dreadnoughts.
Okay.
And it's like and a bunch of other. It's all Red Corsairs and a bunch of other crap. It's just crap. You're like, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't know. I'm a country bro.
Yeah. I'm gonna run my contemptors and dreadnoughts at you as fast as possible and see what happens.
If things go in my direction, it's not very good.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So during deployment, that's usually what I do. If I play a more close combat heavy army, which I don't do anymore, and I'm not going to do possessed bomb. There's too many moving parts for it to get to work, I think.
Plus, then you run into Grey Knights and lose.
Yeah, unless I have a bunch of cultists. So Thomas is going to do.
I mean, the difference is I don't have to engage them. I can just shoot them from 48 inches away.
Right.
Yeah.
Bombs, the only way to get to work is to engage them. So it's like the Grey Knights are just awful.
Yeah, if you wrap your possessed in cultists, the cultists get mowed down by Stormbolter fire, and the next turn they get smited to death.
And then you can't even assault a strike squad because they're falchions. They're like, we have 3 attacks apiece. I'm re-rolling to wound you, and I'm doing D3 damage. You're like, ugh.
Yeah, when you charge me, I'm still 3 attacks each.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's usually what I look out for in deployment is what I need to get, what objectives can I get, especially with depending on the secondaries that I pick. Mm-hmm. And what I need to do. I try to think out the first or second turn in my head what I want to do.
Right.
And then adjust accordingly as the game progresses. John?
It's the same. Like when it comes to the deployment, I'm obviously hoping for certain ones when I play knights. It matters a little bit less when I'm playing a Grey Knight army that deep strikes or could potentially deep strike a lot. So
yeah, it
just depends on the army type really, but you should always plan on going second basically. Like, that's just the way it goes, especially as long as the seize mechanic works.
Thomas. Well, that may not be an issue fairly soon. So
We'll see.
Oh,
Hint,
see,
hint.
there's nothing C's. There you have those events where like I got C's on 5 times out of 6.
It was so much fun.
We know someone.
At that point in time, you're like, go for it. They're like, whatever.
We know someone that got seized on like 8 times in a row.
Yeah, it was
Reese?
ridiculous.
It wasn't Reese.
No. And I think it was longer than 8 times in a row too. It was like 3. It was like 2 whole leagues worth of games.
Yeah,
He's seized on every single game.
That's when it's like, you need to play a turn 2 army and just let them go.
Yeah,
Just let them go.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Thomas, for you deployment, I know you only have like 5 units to deploy.
I have lots of units to deploy. I'm running a lot of cultists. It all depends on set. So if, when you have long range on stuff, you can start. You can figure out, and like the big thing I forgot with my army is that I could set up a way to redeploy my warlord and 3 lords of skulls if I wanted to.
Oh, true.
I forgot about that. So a lot of times you can do stuff like be aggressive to play for the aggressive move and let them like play difference and then move them again. So it's really dependent on. So usually when I sit down and look at it, I was like, okay, what am I going to do turn 1? What am I going to do turn 2? What can I do? What can I score? What can I long that keep the points close enough? Knowing that my army gets certain like 1 or 2 secondaries very easily, without really me losing effectiveness, because you can get the guy Lord Skull down so far, and you're like, cool, you get 2 or 3 points, but I'm still doing something.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the kind of things I look at. And then deployment zone, you're like, okay, like when I played Knights, is like, am I close enough to get a good charge off? Am I close enough that I'm always going to be in range? Is there pieces of the terrain that's hard to look at? Can I get angles on that terrain since my range is so long? I can move over and move a certain distance and get an angle shot on them. What do I need to have around support? Because usually when I did Lord Skulls, I had 2 that were supported by the Lord Squirt and everything else. And then I had 1 off on his own, but I could Demon Forge him, and so he can reroll everything.
Oh, okay.
So that way you can kind of cause problems. Like, why is this one on his own? I was like, well, he can do whatever he wants.
All right, yeah.
So
Makes sense.
Hopefully that helps.
Yeah.
Hopefully that helps the the fan that asked the question.
Yes, hopefully it helps Adam.
Fan is a real strong word. I'm a fan of you, Adam, not John.
Thanks.
That's fine.
Me too. I'm a fan of me too.
All right. I think that's it.
I think we call it a night.
Cool.
I don't think there's anything in the chat.
No.
Well, come on down to the Bulls Open if you want to come listen, and you're not doing the ATC event.
Yeah, I think I might be in New York that week. I have to see.
You son of a bitch.
I know. My wife made our summer travel plans already.
When is it? When is it again? June?
It's July.
June. June.
It's June.
June 12th through 14th.
Oh, that's my daughter's graduation.
Wait.
Yeah.
Are you talking about which one?
Bulls
Open.
I'm thinking of War Games Con.
Yes, War Games Con's July.
Right. Okay. BoLSCON is
12th through 14th.
12th through 14th
of June.
Okay.
June.
Okay, got it. Is that the same weekend they're doing the one in Vegas?
Yes.
Oh.
What are they doing in Vegas?
Okay.
Gentleman's GT is that same weekend because I was asked to judge it again, but I can't because my daughter's graduation is that Saturday.
Right.
College graduation.
Okay. Well, that changes things. I can consider that now.
Oh, well, please come. It'd be great to have you. That way,
put that on the calendar.
and that way you also don't get to play me because I'm running the event. So you don't have to deal with Thomas dice.
That's true.
As Jim Villa said, you play those cheaty casino dice. I'm like, I'm old and I can see them. So that's why I have these dice.
Fair enough.
Well, thank you, Thomas, for coming on. I'm sure John enjoyed it. I enjoyed it.
I did enjoy having you on.
I appreciate it. It was a good time. I like you, John. You can be mean to me. It's okay.
I'm not mean to people in general.
in general, but I'll be mean to you. I'm like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Well, once again, thank you for coming on, Thomas.
No problem.
Everyone, you can see his articles on Bell of Lost Souls.
You'll see my art anywhere. You'll see my art all
And
over
you'll
the place.
see Thomas's art everywhere.
Follow him on Instagram because you post on there a lot, and it's really good stuff.
Yeah, Instagram is where my blog of what I do. So you'll see what I paint in the week or what I do in the week.
Cool.
And it's just a Goatboy, or what's the Instagram?
Goatboy Bowls, I think is the Instagram handle. It'll show like Thomas Peary III, my actual real life name.
Your real name.
So thank you everybody for listening. John, anything else before we go?
No, don't forget if you're gonna go to the Battle for LA to buy your ticket.
Yeah, just look up Battle for LA on Best Coast Pairings. It's the weekend of the 18th and the 19th of April, which is the week after Easter.
Yep.
In fabulous San Gabriel, which is LA adjacent. Spots are still open, so go ahead and buy your tickets soon. I haven't got the dates down for Hammer Wrath, but I'll have information for that up fairly soon.
Cool.
So it'll probably be in September.
Oh, really? Hammer's gonna be in September?
I believe so, yes. And that'll be in the same location as Battle for LA.
Cool.
It won't be at its previous location.
Nice.
So there'll be air conditioning, plenty of room, unlike previous years.
Yeah, it's always funny because everywhere in Texas has AC, no matter. So it's always interesting to me.
Thomas, any last words? Any words of wisdom?
No. Play big dumb models so your games don't take so long.
There you go.
That's decent advice. I concur.
All right. Well, we'll call it a night. So thank you, everybody.
All right.
Good night, and have a pleasant tomorrow.
All right. I'll talk to you later.